Welcome to Ear Shifter. He's Sean Capstick.
And he's Rene Rouleau. And Rene, tell us, what are we here for?
We are here to introduce a band that maybe people will like because we feel they're overlooked. Or, hey, you might know that band and you're going to learn a whole bunch of stuff about that band that you love.
Well, this band is both of those things to me because they weren't really on my radar until late last year. They did make it on my top records and songs of 25, so you can check that out on earshifter.com. And it's because my boys took me to a concert. I saw them and I just said, this is a great band. I need to know more about Wednesday.
And fair enough, Sean. And if I'm being honest with you and myself, I discovered Wednesday because of top 10 lists for 2025. A lot of people had them on the radar. And, you know, honestly, they had other bands on the radar too that I didn't like, but Wednesday resonated with me. So I'm really happy that we're doing this.
Yeah. So the boys had played me some of their quieter, earlier songs. We, when we're all together, which is so much fun, I do not have control of the jam. Typically, it is the others in the room. And there's a big joke around the family where we'll be playing music and the music is perfectly acceptable for cooking. And then we sit down and the music becomes unacceptable for dinner music. And this typically happens with Alex G, one of his records that the boys really like. It has a very, very loud part after being kind of a quite nice contemplative acoustic set. So the dinner music is always a joke around our family as we're cooking together. So I'd heard them as pre-dinner music.
So Alex G, I feel like I'm ear shiftering myself now. I'm afraid I don't know who Alex G is.
Go back and listen to my top songs of 25 because he's on there.
Fair enough.
He's an American indie artist, has had some critically acclaim in the past. He's, I don't think he did anything for a little while and just released an album last year.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So the show blew me away and now I'm a fan and I'm really excited to share the band here.
And I'm jealous that you went.
It's always good to get taken to a concert. Okay, so how did Wednesday start? Wednesday is Karly Hartzman. She was inspired by watching Minsky. Do you know Minsky?
No, Mitski.
Mitski?
Yeah, Mitski. I'm actually a fan of Mitski. She's very cool, but nothing like, in my opinion, nothing like Wednesday. Like Mitski her range is large, but she's, as far as I recall, she's not that like grungy, sloshy, slow stuff.
So, yeah, and she's super popular.
She is.
She did a NPR Tiny Desk concert, and that inspired Hartzman to start writing and recording songs under the name Wednesday.
Yeah.
Her first show was for her younger sister's birthday party in her old house. She was living in Asheville, going to college, and she grew up in a little town called Greensboro.
That's adorable.
And her first album that they put out by themselves in 2018 was herself and a multi-instrumentalist named David Gorman. And I read an interview and it said that they did it so that he could finish a recording assignment for his college requirements.
Amazing.
They expanded. Alan Miller on drums, Zandy Clemis on pedal steel, Margot Schultz as the first bass player. And then they formed an early 5-piece for their second album around 2019. And then significantly, MJ Lenderman, who is also from Asheville, moved from a collaborator to a full-time guitarist and songwriter for their Twin Plagues in 21. So she said that the name Wednesday came from her love of the Sundays, which is a British pop band. Do you remember the Sundays?
Okay, I love the Sundays. Sundays are that album. I don't skip a single song on that first album. It's amazing. But also I have to say, I was kind of keen on this one, so I kind of researched a little bit myself, and I saw that, and I'm like, is that real? Is it real? Like, AI said it was real, but AI, come on.
I read some interviews, and yeah, she says that's that's why she named it, but it's also because of Wednesday Addams from the Addams family, I'm sure. Now, in 2018, like Wednesday is blown up now, the TV show, and that's everywhere. So I think it was still maybe a little less in-your-face Wednesday girl at that time, but I kind of liked Wednesday.
Yeah.
I liked all of the
For
Addams Family back on the black and white sitcom.
Yeah, for sure. And maybe I'm remembering Mitski wrong, but I just don't think she was like of this kind of ilk of music. And neither are the Sundays. The Sundays are the opposite of this. The Sundays are pretty, melodic. There's none of this in the Sundays or Mitski as far as I remember.
Wednesday is extremely melodic and poppy. That's what I think. She also does other parts to her songs that are not necessarily melodic, or quite dissident, and deals with non-poppy subjects. But that's what I think, and especially this latest album, Bleeds, is a totally great pop album.
Okay. Melodic was not the right word. I think what I meant to say was, she's crunch. There's crunch to her sound, right? Mm-hmm. But the Sundays are just like pretty poppy songs, and Mitski's kind of light, not lightish, right? So I just mean, and I know that Wednesday hits some really beautiful, soft, sad songs, which is my jam, but she also comes out hard. They come out hard on some stuff that's just nothing like the Sundays and not like Mitski.
Well, maybe that's why Wednesday is a better day, that fits that Gothic storytelling, Southern Gothic storytelling, and the cathartic parts of her songs. Okay, so you've done your homework. I gave you the reading list a little bit, and it sounds like it's working. This whole thesis about let's introduce music that somebody may like is working.
Because sometimes it's me.
Okay, so have you been to North Carolina other than driving through it on the interstate?
Just drove through it.
Any of the Appalachia?
Is the Blue Ridge Highway count?
The Blue Ridge Parkway is definitely right through Appalachia. The Blue Ridge Mountains, so it's an interesting part of the world. It's and she's very focused on these place-based narratives. Her songs are centered on characters and stories in North Carolina and Appalachia in general.
I have two things to say about this. I was literally telling a friend of mine last night, when we drove the Blue Ridge Parkway or highway, we got a little lost. And this is a true story, guys. We got lost and there was no GPS at the time. So I had to walk into this rinky-dink bank / liquor / beer store / convenience store / grocery store all in one. And the moment there's no one in there. It's just the person behind the counter. And the moment I walk in, she doesn't even look up and she just goes, "You're not from around here, are you?" And I was like, am I in a movie? Like, that is straight out of a movie. But yeah, and she wasn't very helpful either.
So I've spent a lot of time in Appalachia. It's a wonderful place to ride motorcycles. And so riding the Blue Ridge Parkway is something that we do often. Riding the roads that are around the Blue Ridge Parkway is something we do more. And we have stopped in and talked to people, and they do not know the directions that we're asking. They have not been outside of their county. They have not been over those hills. And I just find it, yes, it is a remarkable part of the world. We'll get into that a little bit later.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
So she moved to Asheville, where the band was formed. Asheville's a college town. And to me, North Carolina is, what these contrasts that we were just talking about. Asheville's a medium-sized city with a big arts community, and it's where Black Mountain College, a liberal arts college, was set up in the 1930s. And so to me, the most notable graduate from that is Buckminster Fuller. Do you remember Buckminster Fuller?
Are you going to give me a hint?
He's important to us because he designed the geodesic dome. He was an architecture philosopher and conservationist.
Okay.
And so, the Ontario Place IMAX was a geodesic dome after Buckminster Fuller.
Okay.
And we were too young to experience firsthand, but it was certainly part of our growing up. The Expo 67, the Canadian Pavilion, and the Biodome was designed by Buckminster Fuller in Montreal. Yeah, so he's like, but at the same time, it's one of the most racially segregated places I've ever been to. When you're outside of any of the cities, it is very monochromatic and not very friendly to if I wasn't a white guy on a motorcycle, which immediately engages people like, Canada? You're from Canada? Why'd you come here? And I tell them because I love their roads and I love their communities. And then, I'm like, hey, like we get, very warm reception, but I don't know if that's the case for everybody. And it's stunningly beautiful, like all of Appalachia. It's just such a gorgeous part of the world.
I agree.
And so Hartzman's a bit like those contrasts. She's not on social media, but she's got a very consistent image and look. Her internet thing is a personal archive, like it's a blog style site called prisondivorcebombshell.com. And, instead of the Instagram stories that you love so much, she uses to chronicle her life, her thoughts, her inspirations, and shares pictures of her life and her tattoos. So it's totally old school.
Yeah.
And she's a young person, right? Yeah. And, like we've talked about the music, it varies between the screaming sweetness and what shouldn't work, this shoegaze country, which is a great genre. So let's talk about her reference to places. On her first album, there's a song called Dolly World. And Dolly World, I know because I've been there. No, I didn't go in, but I drove past it. It's in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. It's at the end of the Blue Ridge Parkway. And so you're driving through, and the North Carolina mountains are the highest on the Blue Ridge Parkway, highest in eastern continental states. Just beautiful. And then you get to an amusement park.
Is it Dolly Parton amusement
Dolly
park?
Parton amusement park.
Wow. Okay.
So it's just a little bit of contrast. In one of her posts on her blog, she describes driving past abandoned houses in North Carolina. And she says, the porch light still burns, even though there's no one lived there for years. It feels like the house is waiting for someone to come back. But the kudzu, a weed, has already decided otherwise. And it's like she's hopeful. I guess she's not, she's young. Nobody's coming back to those houses. We drive past houses and there's a tree growing through a trailer that no one has bothered to remove. So it's just such an interesting part of the world. We got lost in North Carolina once and we asked a guy in a Toronto Maple Leafs, so he's in a blue jersey. And he didn't know where we could go either, but he kind of told us, he said, up that hill, there's a bar. And I think they got a place to stay. It was a terrible recommendation. We shouldn't have listened to him. One of the guys, I didn't ask him this. He said, hey, do you like the Leafs? And he goes, no, I'm wearing blue because it's my gang color.
No way. I mean, I don't like the Leafs either, but yeah, still, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's a crazy part of the world, right? And one of the songs on the last album is called Carolina Murder Suicide, which is inspired by a real-life murder, the Madaw. And it's written from the perspective of the girl who lives next door to the family who sees them go into darkness. So it's dark and bleak, but let's get into why I like them so much. The concert tour, what I expected and what I got. So I'd been listening to the album, came out in September. We saw them in November. So I'd been listening to the album beforehand and it was great. So let's listen to one of the sweet songs on the album, Elderberry Wine.
Lovely. Let's listen to it.
Rolling up, say it's mostly CBD. Said I wanna have your baby, 'cause I freckle and you tan. I find comfort that angels don't give a damn. But everybody gets along just fine, 'cause the champagne tastes like elderberry wine. And the pink-boiled eggs stay afloat in the brine, 'cause even the best champagne still tastes like elderberry wine.
That song is a lovely song. It actually gives, for me, a little bit of Fleetwood Mac, weirdly. I just feel a little Fleetwood Mac in there, in a good way, because I actually don't like Fleetwood Mac, except for Landslide. But I do love this song. It's very pretty.
You
And
especially like the slide guitar.
I like the slide. I'm okay. Listen, I'm not anti-country, dude. I'm just not as country as you. Like, that's it. Like, I enjoy a good slide guitar.
You're just a little bit rock and roll.
I'm a little bit more rock and roll, which actually leads me to, and this might surprise you, but Reality TV Argument is actually one of my favorite songs, which is a very loud song. It's very sloshy. It's just a sloshy crunchy banger, right? And it's got the loud soft, which you know I love. I think that would be a great song live. Do you recall?
Oh, every song was a banger. There was no letdown, and her personality was so great. Like, the concert was amazing. A totally diverse crowd. There were dreads and gray hair. There were people with super style because they're a trendy, hot band to be, and they wanted to be there whether they liked them or not. And then there were a whole bunch of people with no style who just loved the band. Like, when she started playing the more punkier, there was a whole bunch of moshing going on, which was just, yeah, it was great. And then, and the band was having a lot of fun. And she did the banter that you love.
Oh, man. And where'd they play?
They played at the concert hall.
Okay. So in Toronto, the concert hall holds, about how much?
About 1,200 people, I think.
About 1,200.
Yeah.
I am so jealous, man. This is making me sad.
Well, it was totally sold out. So unless you had one of your sons buy you tickets, then
I wouldn't have been able to go.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Maybe I'll get him to invite you to more shows.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it was totally diverse, totally fun. Yeah, she talked about the hand-pulled noodle place just down the road on Yonge Street, which we go to. And she goes, yeah, that's my destiny. I love hand-pulled noodles. And she's from North Carolina. So Elderberry Wine's a love story, and we'll get into the failed love later. But at one point, she does the Catherine O'Hara, I want to bear your children in Second City TV, which is so funny. But she says it seriously. She says, I want to have your baby because I freckle and you tan. That's
a great line.
Just love, love, love.
Because we know each other so well, and because I knew we were going to talk about lyrics. I actually read the lyrics quite a bit along with the songs, and I honestly, dude, I thought she was exceptional as a lyricist. I was really impressed.
Yeah,
she paints stories that are just so rich and yet a little bit familiar, but very much kind of the redneck sort of small town sort of life.
Well, let's hear Gary's too, and then I'll tell you that story.
Okay, all right, let's hear Gary's too.
I went to the dentist and he winced at your gums, and he said that false teeth were your only option. You said, go ahead, man, just take out the rest, even the good ones. You're doomed, I'm tired of them. The dentist took pause but said, seems fine to me. And that's how you got dentures at age 33. Told me this story as you stood by your truck. I said, Gary, man, you have the worst of all. I always did wonder how your teeth stayed so nice when the only thing you drink is Pepsi.
Okay, so that's an example of her place-based storytelling about people she's met. So Gary is a resident of Asheville, and that's a story about how he got dentures at age 33 because he was jumped outside of a bar because he was mistaken for someone else. And on her Twin Plagues album, she's got Gary's Original, which is another song about the same person. So I understand that he's dead now, but before he died at 70, he would walk around Asheville with his oxygen tank smoking and telling stories.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, again, just such a neat perspective on storytelling and characters.
And it really seemingly brings you right in there. Like just the way she paints that picture. But I will say this, that I did look at the lyrics to this one because I'm literally listening to this song going, this is a basic country song. It's good. It's good. It's good. But there's nothing exceptionally remarkable about the actual tune. So I'm like, okay, I got to look at the lyrics because there's something in there that Sean's liking. And sure enough, once I read the lyrics, I'm like, okay, I totally get this.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So the album right before that, we'll go backwards.
Oh, can we stop though for a second?
Oh, you want to talk more about Bleeds?
I do. Because my favorite song, because you didn't ask me, my favorite song is Townies.
Oh, yeah.
I love Townies. I think I love the draggy singing on the chorus, but interestingly, verse-wise, it's very country. So the verses are very country, but the chorus just breaks out in this draggy sort of almost grunge-like kind of sloshy feeling, and I just freaking love that song for it.
Did you read the lyrics to that?
I don't think I did because I love the song so much.
No. That one's pretty dark, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're all great. Bitter Every Day is such a happy song, except she's singing, I get bitter every day. Like it's, we could go on. We could that's my album. That's in heavy rotation now. I'm doing a bit of a Rene on that. Okay. So the sister album, the album that was preceded and the songs were kind of written all around the same time, is called Rat Saw God. So that came out in 2023.
Is it considered a sister album?
It's the same. She's talked about how she's looking forward to the next album because she can get onto something new, that they were still like it was a period of creative output for her. And some of the songs were written around the same time. That's cool. The themes of love, heartbreak are there in both of them, right? So, and this is really where Wednesday became critical darlings, right? In 2023, they were named Album of the Year by the NME, so they got a lot of critical acclaim right there. And it's a little more raw, right? So let's hear, there's a few songs on there, but let's hear, I think the one, again, lyrically and musically is interesting. It's called Chosen to Deserve.
All right, let's hear it.
My friends all took Benadryl till they could see shit crawling up the walls. One of those times my friend took a little too much. He had to get his stomach pumped. They took him over to the hospital and told us he was lucky to survive. I'm the girl that you've chosen to
Okay, so I had this song on. I like this song too. Can I explain why I like this song? Not especially, because it really is just another country song, but somehow it grabs me a little bit more.
The chorus, I'm the girl you were chosen to deserve, is such a great line. Yeah, it says a lot depending on who did the choosing. Yes.
And what she deserves. Okay, and then I do want to talk about one song in particular on this album. It's called Quarry.
Yeah.
And
that's a banger.
It's a banger. And it's actually the most played song on the album as well. And I was actually comparing at the time, because remember I kept saying Wednesday, her singing voice reminds me of this band. And I couldn't remember the band. So I found out, I think I sent you it, Hop Along. Old band, 74,000 monthly listeners. And her voice at times is similar to the lead singer of Hop Along. And in this song in particular, by accident, I hit this song Quarry and actually thought it was a Hop Along song because I just mixed up in my own brain. And this one probably comes closest to sounding like Hop Along. It's like a poppy Wednesday. Is basically what I call it.
And more disjointed. Yes, Hop Along. I get played Hop Along by the boys as well.
No way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I like them a lot. Yeah, because it's quirky and not disjointed.
I saw them at the Horseshoe. I dragged my friend Craig to the Horseshoe. He absolutely hated them, but he also likes the Leafs, so it's all fair.
Okay. Let's talk about their covers album next. So in 22, they did this cover album. It's called Mowing the Leaves instead of Piling Them Up. And they are pretty, again, showing their rock cred, their blues, country, punk, rock cred. It's really interesting the bands they chose to cover on there. Chris Bell, co-founder of Big Star. Roger Miller, from King of the Road, right? Favorite of REM's. The Drive-By Truckers, right? Who's a big Southern alternative country song.
Yeah.
Some shoegaze bands that I think our sound producer Joe would like. And Vic Chestnut. Now, do you remember Vic Chestnut?
Okay, I remember you loving Vic Chestnut, and I was actually shocked that you didn't pick the Vic Chestnut song to play on this podcast. I was like, what? I remember him loving Vic Chestnut.
And Vic Chestnut, for dear listeners who don't know Vic, how old was he? I think he was in a car accident when he was a very, very young man. So he was a paraplegic. He could, or para. He could not walk, but he could play guitar and play music. And Michael Stipe produced his first 2 albums.
Cool.
And there were a bunch of Vic Chestnut tribute and, fundraising that was popular back in the aughts and the 90s, right? Where bands, would get together to help him with medical bills. And he's dead now, but he released a whole bunch of albums that they were pretty good. Yeah, I remember them when we were living together.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there's a hard drinking country song. She's acting single and I'm drinking doubles, which is a great country line. But the one that I picked was for you, because maybe Danielle will listen to the episode if you say that we're going to play a Smashing Pumpkins cover.
Yeah, we can troll her at this point, I think, because Danielle's my wife and she has yet to listen to a single episode. So I'm calling her out right now. I mean, it's so funny because, of course, I am a huge Smashing Pumpkins fan. I've seen them 3 times, once in Japan, actually.
Where he was trying to impress his future wife.
What do you mean?
I thought that was a big. Were you guys totally going out by that time?
Sorry.
I thought that was a
meant,
big courting.
Yeah, I thought you meant Billy Corgan's future wife.
Okay.
No, my future wife. Yes. At the time we were dating. That's a longer story. But anyway, the other thing I want to say about Perfect, and thank you for playing that one, is that the thing I love about it is they didn't try. I hate when your favorite band plays another song that you also love, but all they do is just sing it and play it exactly the way it originally was played. It's like, it's not freaking karaoke. Make it yours. And that's what these guys freaking did with this song. They made it theirs. And that's what I loved.
Okay, so let's hear it.
Let's hear it. Yeah. So again, like I said, I love the fact that they made it their own. I kind of wish they would have brought the vocals up just like 10% more, maybe even, but it's just lovely. And they made it their own.
Yeah. And that album is great. Again, just totally diverse. So let's keep going backwards. Twin Plagues, 2021. So this is the first one that MJ Lenderman was a full member of the band and started playing. You can hear him harmonizing on that last song. So this is noisy, this is very shoegazy, not as well produced, but still, you could see the potential if you were there with the band. I'm sure that the people that were listening in 2021 are going to be saying that's their best one, and they'll probably say the previous one's better too. But I like the songs, but I like, you know me for lyrics and song titles. So let's hear How Can You Live If You Can't Love? How can you if you do? And there's no hyphens, there's no commas. They're all capital, so it's in proper title case. The title is wonderful, and the song's pretty good too.
Yeah, and I'll just add it has a little bit of a car seat headrest song title feel to it. The nice long title, but it actually is kind of cool. Like the words themselves are interesting. Let's listen to that song.
Called you on the road again to get back on my feet. Pain was kinda wonderful 'cause it was so complete. Tell you can need me more than I tend to need you. Can you live if you
Okay, so that's just such a pretty song. And again, going backwards, you can see how they were country to start with. And, a little less fidelity, more straight ahead country, but again, not conventional lyrics.
Yes. And also, I do like this song. It's a pretty sad song. It's my jam.
Yep. Okay, so I think you'll like the next one then. So the first major or minor record label that they got on, I Was Trying to Describe You to Someone. Again, a great album title. Very first person lyricism here, storytelling. It was before they became, I think, on a lot of people's attention. So let's hear the song November.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, Rene, I picked that one for you because as I'm listening to the albums, I'm thinking, Rene would like this song.
Accurate. So I actually didn't know this song. So when you sent that to me, I was like, I actually thought, what a beautiful song. And I wanted to thank Sean for sending it to me. Oh my God. All right. But I also want to say, Sean, dude, there's a lyric in there that is so cool. The line is, "There's nothing like the way you loiter in my heart." I love that line.
She's got something. Yeah, she's a great lyricist.
Man, oh man. Yeah. All right. That's it.
Okay. So the album before that, definitely was self-produced. You can't get it on the streaming services in Canada. Maybe in other countries we can't download it on ours. I listened to it on YouTube. Yeah, you can see the beginnings, right? So it's kind of an interesting journey, and that's less than 10 years ago, and to have that volume of work and to have that real, I think they're on the cusp of something pretty good.
I know, but I don't want to jinx them either, guys. So if you do happen to listen to this episode, we're not jinxing you. Your next album is going to be what it's going to be, and you're going to love it, and hopefully others do. That's it.
Because they're kind of punk rock.
They are kind of punk rock.
Yeah, they do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know. Maybe it's the importance of Asheville. When I get to go back to the States, I will definitely go back to Asheville, and because it's so beautiful. I've been there before. But we got to talk about the MJ Lenderman connection, right? So Jake to his friends, he's like, my boys call him a record industry plant because he's everywhere, like in that whole independent area. Like he shows up on people's albums, has got all this critically acclaim himself. And, he was touring with Wednesday, and he and Karly were in a relationship.
Oh, okay.
So they're boyfriend and girlfriend in a job, which is tough to me. And they broke up during the recording of Rat Saw God.
And is that why he's no longer with the band, or?
He is still with the band.
Okay.
He co-wrote and played on Bleeds.
That's my bad.
But he's not touring with the band anymore,
right.
Probably because he's too busy with his own solo stuff. And, maybe they, again, but they seem to be friends. She, shows up at his shows and plays tambourine. So
awesome.
So that's an interesting backstory.
We could do a whole episode on relationships in bands, like No Doubt, right? A whole bunch. There's a whole bunch out there.
It's complicated.
Definitely.
But this is one of the reasons why she talks about all of the screaming, right? And that one Bull Believer song on Rats Saw God, when she did it in concert, I had heard it, but I was unprepared for the raw emotion that she brings to that song. So that was when she didn't tell the band, but the band said they knew they're breaking up. So she's in the studio and she lets out this scream, right? And I don't think we've ever seen a screamo band. I mean, we've seen some emo bands, we've seen some bands that yell, but what she did was really different. And she says she does it, it's cathartic. She does it on tour. She says, and this is where you would have loved the show even more, she says, I have to dedicate the scream to something. So she does it, dedicates it to different things every time she performs. And then she goes through the screaming. And yeah, it's cathartic for her and the audience. That's for sure.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. If you're in a mood, put on Bull Believer, listeners. I don't think we'll play the cut right now. So it's...
I want to add, it's an 8-minute song as well. So it's pretty long, I think, if that's the song I'm thinking of.
It's a total long song.
Yeah.
And there's multiple screaming parts. Like she doesn't save it up for just one part. She is amazing. So, Rene, are they an ear shifter band?
I think they are. I mean, it's interesting, right, Sean? Because we're getting into bands that are like fully, truly contemporary in the best sense of the word. So it's funny because, yeah, an ear shifter band is a band that we feel, you and I, Sean, we feel deserve more attention. Did they get a lot of attention this year? Absolutely. Did they deserve it? Absolutely. Do they deserve more? Yes.
So I agree completely. I think their cult breakthrough is one of the things that is great. They're coming into the mainstream, but they remain outsiders. They are not doing what other bands would have done, I think, as they're breaking this. Like they don't, they're not on social media. They don't like publicity. They shun the public eye. Is that like any other ear shifter bands that we've done?
Well, I feel like you're leading the story. I don't know which one you mean exactly.
Maybe the t-shirt you're wearing?
Oh, yeah, Neutral Milk Hotel. Yeah, but I mean, I would argue that I don't even think it was around really all that much. But yes, certainly Jeff issued the entire public, regardless of social or otherwise. Yeah.
So she can't not, but she's doing it on her own terms.
Yeah.
I think the genre fusion and, their DIY authenticity, right? They mix things that really shouldn't go together, but they really do. Right?
Yeah.
Like shoegaze country is kind of a great genre.
Yeah. Or that track I was talking about, the TV reality one, I can't remember the exact name, but that's like country verses, but sloshy, grungy choruses. Oh my God, that's amazing. Amazing.
Yep. They take the loud soft to a new area. And we know that's so appealing, right? Yeah. Similar to that Joy Formidable.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
And finally, I'm going to make one more, not to belabor the point, but this is what, as I'm realizing, why do I like her so much? Her songs are short stories, right? That gets me in terms of the lyrics and the content.
Sean, it's amazing that you said that because I actually had a specific question for you. And that is, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but I want to ask you, because lyricist wise, I'm truly impressed. And I thought, oh my God, Sean's going to be impressed too. And that's probably a large part of the reason he probably likes this band. Here is my question. For you, dude, would you consider her one of the top 100 lyricists for you? Or top 50 or
for
top
sure.
25.
I haven't, and I'm just scratching the surface because it takes a long time to unpack these dense songs and then, figure out what that meaning is. And, that Southern Gothic is pretty compelling, but pretty dark, right?
Yeah.
It's set, Southern Gothic, book set to feedback and pedal like it's crazy. And, the way she ties the human condition into places and stories, it reminds me a lot of one of our other...
Oh, did you give it away? Yeah, the Weaker Thans. Woo! Love them.
I think she and John K. Sampson are very similar in their approaches, even if they come from super diverse geographies.
She does need to write songs about cats, though.
Well, I'm coming. Some of the videos I saw her being interviewed, she had a cat. So.
Okay, there you go. Okay, but you didn't actually answer my question. So top 100 lyricists, would she make that? I think the answer is yes.
Yes,
top
definitely.
50,
Yeah.
would she make that?
Oh, are you giving me the above and the? I don't know the line. I think it's definitely top 50. Definitely.
Nice.
Yeah, she's totally like, I'm quite captivated by her songs and her stories. Yeah.
I'm impressed
Amazing.
too.
Yeah.
I'm impressed too. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So who are we going to hear next time, Rene?
Well, it's funny, because Wednesday is a female-led band, and actually we're going to have another female-led band. And guess what? This one also starts with W.
And did we see them in concert?
We certainly did.
No, I can't wait.
All right. Till next time, guys.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Ear Shifter. Tune in next time where we'll cover another band that deserves more. You can find Ear Shifter on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Friend us or listen to our playlists on Spotify and visit earshifter.com for more information. Special thanks go to our logo designer, Stuart Thursby, and our intro-outro music by Joe Novak. You can find him as Bye Bye Badman, one word, on SoundCloud. And a big shout out to Joe for being our awesome sound engineer / editor. Until next time.